How's it going, everybody? I am Mr. Boring, and this is going to be a special list that I've not made yet, which is surprising, for my love for PSVR is pretty great. I'm going to be doing a list of my top PSVR games from 2016 and 2017. Now, I'm excluding 18 because 18 is not over yet, and I feel like those would be good for their own list due to the fact that we're supposed to have 150 extra PSVR games just in this year. So this is exclusively 2016 and 2017, and since there are 2 years, I'm doing 20 instead of 10. So without further ado, let's get it going. Alright, so for number 20, I'm going to be putting Werewolf Thin on that part, mainly because of its unique kind of playstyle to it. So some people are werewolves, some people are villagers, but there's also a couple subclasses that the villagers get, like, you know, deceiver or gossip or, you know, something like that, to where some people have to try to lie and make people think they're the werewolves. Some people can narrow down the search, and other people heard rumors and are just going off of that. This game's really fun because it's cross-platform. A lot of people are really good at this game now, so it's funny to watch people get caught in their lies, and then they just have to defend themselves, and they get all squirmy because, you know, they don't want to lose. It's really fun to be the deceiver. I like being the deceiver just because I try to play off like I'm an idiot, and people usually buy it, and I know it's not really that hard to buy. But yeah, no, it's really fun. Number 19, I picked Battlezone, mainly because I used to play this game as a kid on the computer with those green lines and all that shit, and it was really fun. And surprisingly, I didn't buy this game when it first came out on PSVR. I kind of waited, and I don't know why. But as soon as that classic map came out on this game, I had to get it. I also experienced multiplayer. One of my viewers became a very close friend of mine, and we played a campaign on this game, and it is super cool. You can make these long-ass campaigns to play with you or your friends. Gives you extra hours of gameplay. If you haven't picked this one up already, I think it might still be like $30 or something. I don't know, but this game is definitely worth it, and it definitely deserves a spot in your inventory. It's a pretty good game. I know I said inventory rather than library. Let's move on. Number 18, I picked Space Rift. I really enjoyed this game. The voice acting is very but I mean, if I had to do better, I wouldn't be able to. So I can't complain. The story was really immersive. I like the environment in this game. The galaxy just looks really cool and open. And then you got this giant station that you're flying through, going through vent fans and all this stuff. It's super cool. Yeah, this game's awesome. Alright, so next up is Raw Data. This game is super awesome. Now, for PSVR, it doesn't have multiplayer like the PC does. And the developers said they can't promise that it's ever going to come to PSVR. However, the single player alone is definitely worth the price point. It is filled with a lot of action and a couple different maps with a really aesthetically pleasing area, I guess. The cool thing about this game is that there's 4 different people, each with their own abilities and weapons. Makes it to where you want to play a little bit longer, level up every single character, and get all their abilities. My favorite's the Cyber Ninja because they're like a Jedi. But yeah, I mean, price point is fair. Next up is Unearthing Mars. I played this game about 3 times in the past year, and while this game doesn't normally seem to be the type of game that would have a decent replayability, this one definitely did. Minus the driving in this game, I think that was the only bad part of this game. The game's very immersive, beautiful, and the storytelling is pretty alright. I can imagine this being a good game to just chill to. Next up is Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. This game is super awesome and intense. It's a great party game, probably the best party game on PSVR at the moment. The cool thing about this game is the person wearing the headset has the bomb and he has to disable it. The people on the TV see that little that chart thing right there. It's pretty much the documents on like how to defuse a bomb, the manual rather, sorry. But yeah, no, it's super intense. The more people, the more stressful. It just makes it for a good time. It's really, really intense, especially when you cut it right at that 1 second mark. I've done that once, and it was just, I was ecstatic. Plus, it's like $20, so yeah. Thumper was my next choice. It is a really cool rhythm game where you have to kind of like follow the track and the different angles that it tries to bump you to, just depending on how the beat is. It's very aesthetically pleasing. It's not really that hard until a little bit later, but once you get that far in, it's pretty intense. But in the beginning, you're pretty much just enjoying the wonderful scenery and these badass boss battles. It's a pretty fun game, and I think it's like $20, so this one's kind of a no-brainer. Next up is Faded. Now, if you followed me before I did my 15-hour live stream of Skyrim, you saw me play this game. I played it about 4 times already, and this game is just so fucking awesome. The story on it is really cool, very like in-depth, and it really grabs your attention. It plays on your heartstrings, and it is a really cool exploration kind of game. It's very linear, but it's awesome. It's very story-driven, and I think it's only like 10 or $20, in which case this would be stupid not to get. It's just awesome. For that experience, I thought it was definitely worth the money. Alright, so I know a lot of people aren't not going to agree with me on this one, if I can talk. I really enjoyed this game. Loading Human was a fun experience for me. I understand there is iffy tracking, slow movement, and the voice acting is comparable to Space Rift. My chief complaint with this game was the fact that the movement speed was so slow. I kind of looked past everything else. I thoroughly enjoyed the story. I want more. I want an episode 2 to come out. I do agree that it is time for a price drop on this game. Whenever it first came out was whenever PSVR was kind of launched, so it was kind of worth that $40 price point for being an immersive story that's really, you know, in depth. But it's been long enough. I think it is time for a price drop for it. But if you already own everything else, or you're in the slow season, this game's definitely a good placeholder. Especially if you find it on sale, I would definitely jump on it. It is a fun time, and just kind of make your own opinion on it. Next is Superhot VR. This game is awesome if you're into that whole John Wick style of just fucking, I'm gonna shoot everybody, and also the Matrix bullet dodge. It's badass. After you beat this game, an endless mode happens, and the endless mode is probably even more fun than the regular game, in my opinion. It's really cool because you can put on Spotify and listen to like a bunch of heavy metal, or pretty much whatever you're kind of into that kind of gets you pumped up, and then you could just start killing like a whole bunch of these guys, and you feel like a badass doing it. So yeah, this definitely earned a place on my list, but this is also kind of obvious. I mean, if you don't own it yet, what are you doing? Get that game. Next up is Spark. Spark is kind of a mix of Tron and tennis. It is awesome. Essentially, you guys are on the opposite side of this like boxed-in space, and you have to hit the person with your ball thing. And when you pick up your ball, you have a shield, and you can use that shield one time before having to grab your ball again. But yeah, no, this game's super fun. There's a lot of tournaments, and the community is pretty big. You will usually find someone to play with for sure, especially if you join their communities. I think they still run like a lot of tournaments with this game. It's definitely worth jumping into, and it's like 20 bucks. Okay, here they lie. I am personally super attached to this game for being as trippy as it is. I actually played it when I was very relaxed and in a new headspace, and I beat the game in one sitting, and it was the trippiest time of my life, and it was awesome, and I felt so accomplished when I got out of it, because I mean, it's just such a cool experience. I mean, I like how the characters play out, I like the enemies, and just the environment is really cool. Plus it's also like 20 bucks, so if you're a horror fan, you need this game. Alright, next up is Megaton Ringfall. Now, if you like overpowered superheroes like Superman, who I personally hate, but you know, it's whatever. Or if you like Goku or like whatever, you know, this game is for you, because you have all these powers and all this responsibility, but it's very dangerous to have that. Aliens are attacking the Earth, and you have to defend the Earth, and you'll get new powers as you proceed through the story. And if you're not careful and you miss an enemy with certain powers, you can end the world in like one blow. So it's really cool because it adds that extra caution to the game. You don't want to destroy thousands of lives. And you can also go into space and explore, find black holes and hidden knowledge from aliens and stuff, which is kind of cool. It's like alien stones. It's not like aliens. I don't want to get your hopes up, but yeah, it's like 20 bucks. You should get it. Alright, Star Trek Bridge Crew. This game is awesome, and it has always had a place in my heart. I got it as soon as it came out. I like the idea of having your own ship and like having your friends like play with you. I always kind of wanted to be the pilot, but I didn't mind being the captain. And co-op and multiplayer is where this game really shines, but now with voice command you can actually play single player. It takes a little bit of time to get used to how the NPCs will react to what you say, but once you do that, this game is a great experience, single player or multiplayer. Plus it's cross-platform. I don't know if I already said that. It is awesome. Next is Arizona Sunshine. This game is awesome if you're a zombie fan like me. They keep on adding extra maps and stuff to it. They're actually coming out with a couple more soon anyway too. It's like 30 bucks, maybe 40, but it's always on sale. I think it's on sale right now, or it just got done being on sale, so by the time of this video being uploaded, you should check and grab this game. I did a live stream with it. It's funny because like the characters are kind of weird set up. Like if your friend's walking around, sometimes he's spanking himself and stuff. I'll add that at the end of the video. But yeah, no, it's really, really fun. And the endless mode, like the wave shooters that you get, one of those maps, I think it's called like Undead Valley. It's kind of like a Nazi zombie thing where you have to advance through the map. Next is Robinson the Journey. This game was the first game that I got into when I got into PSVR, and that's what kind of showed me the light of VR. So it has a really nice place in my heart, but I'm going to try to be more like normal in reviewing it and being biased. So this game is really cool, the environment's awesome, and exploration's really cool. There's a little bit of a challenge to it at some points in the game, but yeah, it's gorgeous. And it's a must-own. If you don't have it already, get it. Alright, this one's another obvious one. It is Farpoint. Farpoint is the first game that implemented the aim controller, and it did it fantastically. Me, Lewis, and Seraphim always loved getting on this game when it first came out. They're still on it all the time. I've kind of taken a step back, but I like jumping into it every once in a while. It used to only have co-op where you could play with one of your buddies, but now they also implemented a PvP, and the system for the PvP is really awesome. I love it, mainly because you can actually summon enemies to actually fight for you against your friend, and you kind of go across the map. It's just really cool. I love this game. I love the developers for what they're doing with it, and yeah, it just seems like they're constantly adding to it. So, I mean, Impulse Gear, keep it up. Alright, so next up is another obvious one. I regret not playing this whenever I had my YouTube channel like active, but I kind of beat this game like right before I did it. So, Resident Evil 7. This game is essentially the icon game that kind of started the whole AAA titles for VR. It was the first full-length VR game that gave you hours upon hours of gameplay. And it definitely did not disappoint, especially now with all these different episodes that came out with it. They gave everyone a free Not a Hero DLC where you get to play as Chris Redfield. Yeah, no, this game is just great. It has a very nice survival horror aspect, kind of like PT was, that Silent Hills playable teaser. It's fantastic. This is definitely a game to play if you're a horror fan. Even if you're not a horror fan, I'd say give it a shot just for its AAA experience. Okay. Number 2 is Solitude Project. The reason this one beat Resident Evil is just because of the environment. Like, this game is fucking awesome. You spend most of it in a cave, and you get that claustrophobia. The story's awesome. It has a nice survival horror aspect. Plus, it's like $20, and it offers hours and hours of gameplay. So, you guys should definitely give this one a shot. Space fans and horror. Skyrim VR. That's my number 1 pick. Obviously, I did the 15-hour live stream. Did not stop. And with that, I still added maybe an extra 30 hours onto it by making another character. VR really does away with making you kind of reach your imagination that you had as a kid. You can kind of touch that side of yourself again and just kind of, that sounded wrong, but you can like kind of get in touch with your imagination, pretend you're there, and I did that with like a mage character, and it was freaking awesome. This game's so open. I bought it every time it came out, and this was the only time that it actually felt so different and new. I definitely think that everybody should try it out. Even those people that are like, nah, I would say give it a shot. It's great. Okay, everybody. Sorry about the voice over stuff. It wouldn't let me add different ones like halfway through it, so I just kept going. So if I messed up, I'm not changing it. This is how it's gonna be. I tried, but no, thank you for watching. If you liked it, do whatever you want. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. Live your life. Oh shit, I just told you what to do. Fuck. Okay guys, well, have a great day, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Put down in the comments below if you disagree with anything, I guess. Dang it, I told you what to do. I'm sorry. Just enjoy your day.